Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our presentation about World War II, the deadliest war in history. My name is Jake, and I'm a member of the DATT class. If you happen to have any kind of questions during my presentation, feel free to ask when it ends. World War II was the biggest and deadliest war in history, involving more than 30 countries. It was begun by the Nazi invasion of Poland in 1939 and didn't end until 6 bloody years passed after the Allies, including US, UK, and Soviet Union, defeated the Axis power, Germany, Italy, and Japan in 1945. As much as it was a global conflict, the effects it had were also devastating. After World War I ended, Europe was destabilized, and World War II seems to have occurred due to the earlier conflict in the aftermath of World War I. The Axis power in the beginning of World War II involved Germany, Italy, and Japan. In Germany and Italy, fascism emerged as the two leaders, Hitler and Mussolini, dictated the country. Germany was then suffering from the Treaty of Versailles, a treaty formed by allies to keep Germany under control. Germany had to demilitarize its army, lose territory, and pay a huge amount of money that it didn't have, all leading to the country's destruction. So when Hitler came and said he could fix everything, he was instantly loved by the people of Germany. Italy and Japan both had resentment towards Europe because Italy didn't receive much land after winning World War I, and Japan was kicked out of the war between itself and China by the Western European forces. Before the outbreak of the war in 1939, Hitler was already intensively preparing for the war. After becoming a chancellor in 1933, he stated Lebensraum, that Germany's race was the only pure race and had to take over the world to spread its race. Hitler then attacked Austria and annexed Czechoslovakia, and after signing a pact with Soviet Union and invading Poland in 1939, the outbreak of World War II, Britain and France declared war on Germany. Stalin then took over the Baltic states and won over the Russo-Finnish War when Germany started defeating Norway, Denmark, Belgium, and Netherlands with a war tactic called Blitzkrieg. Hitler kept going through the Maginot Line, then known as impenetrable, during the war with France. After signing a pact with Italy, Germany started preparing the war with Britain, then known as having an advantage with defense because of the separation of lands. With intensive bombing in Britain's territory, Britain suffered many losses, but eventually injured with the US help. And Hitler's main goal, Lebensraum, led to the invasion of Soviet Union and the massacre of Jews. The Soviet Union almost lost its capital, but the cold weather caused conflict in Germany and further invasion was postponed. Meanwhile, US was having a war with Japan, and Japan was in the control of the war in 1941 and 1942, but was pushed by the US Pacific Fleet in 1942. And US was in the control of the war even later with the island hopping strategy. And as Soviet Union as an ally, the Allies pushed Germany and Italy out of North Africa, and Italy's government fell in 1943. Also, the Battle of Stalingrad between Germany and Soviet Union leading to Soviet Union's victory, and again by getting advantage of the cold weather. On June 9th of 1944, known as D-Day, the Allies launched a massive attack on Germany, leaving them no chance to fight. Hitler ended his life on April 30th of 1944 in his bunker, and Germany surrendered in the following week. Soon, Germany was divided into 4 parts, each occupied by the Allies, and Japan surrendered after 2 atomic bombs exploded on its territory. The effects of World War II were devastating, but before I get into it, I have to mention African American soldiers that have fought for US but received segregation, which is really sad to me. As for the casualty of World War II, It took the lives of 60 to 80 million people, including 6 million Jews, 25 million soldiers, and the rest normal citizens. That was the end of my presentation. Now I'll give you a short quiz. Why was Germany furious after World War One ended?
They have to pay money that they couldn't.
And they have to demilitarize their army and lose territory. And what was a strategy that terrified France and Norway, Denmark, Belgium, and Netherlands? There's some misunderstanding here. The strategy was blitzkrieg. Yeah. And number 3 is, what is the name of the day when Allies launched a massive attack on Germany? And the hint is, the day was on June 6th of 1944.
Name of the day?
Yeah. There's a specific name. It was called the D-Day. Thank you for listening.
Okay.